the Madman.
We got 3 more package reveals for Festival of Legends here, and they are not packages that one would expect. Hunter's package, Big Beast, 6 mana 10/10 Mr. Mukla Beast, Rush, Battlecry, fill your opponent's hand with bananas. If we went purely off of the stats, like, I think the filling your opponent's hand is a net negative, of course. Yeah, sure, you managed to burn one of their cards, but that mostly doesn't matter. So in a vacuum, Mr. Mukla isn't good. But this is where you look at the rest of the package and you're like, oh, I've got some big dreams. In fact, Big Dreams, 5 mana, spell, summon the highest cost beast from your hand. It goes dormant for 2 turns. If you Big Dreams out Mr. Mukla, there is no downside to giving your opponent bananas. But where you really want Big Dreams to work is you want Big Dreams to cast the 10 mana beast, Banjo. 10 mana 5/6 beast. Rush, whenever this attacks, draw a beast and gain its stats. So obviously you want some really huge beasts with your Banjo. Perhaps you manage to draw Mr. Mukla with Banjo, and suddenly you have a 15/16 Rush for 10 mana, and you play that card on turn 5, and on turn 7 it awakens and then rushes someone. But really, one of the things to think about is that all these cards do synergize with King Crush. Your Banjo can draw King Crush as well. And that is a 13/14, and you have a Crush in hand. Which is important, because with the 10 mana tradable spell, tradable nice, because you want to draw this near last, resurrect all friendly beasts that cost 5 or more. The legendary spell, so you can only do it once. But you can get some big beasts. Now, there are a few problems, of course, with Big Hunter, which is, how do you survive the early game? How do you play Big Dreams on turn 5, which is the turn that you would want to play Big Dreams on? Because, you know, you play it much later, and then you might as well just play the 10 mana card. And these are all good questions. I don't have an answer for you. I just hype the cards. Next up, we got another package in the house with MC Blingtron. It's Weapon Rogue, MC Blingtron, 5 mana 3/4, Battlecry, both players equip 1/2 microphones. Your opponent's increases all damage they take by 1, so you get the golden mic, they get the broken mic. This is vaguely like related to Weapon Rogue in the sense that you actually get a weapon, but the other 2 cards in this package are just solid cards. You have Harmonic Hip Hop, which deals 1 damage, gives your weapon +3 attack, or it swaps, of course, to the other side, swaps each turn. Deal 3 damage, give your weapon +1 attack. Mic Drop, also a weapon buffer. 3 mana, draw 2 cards. Finale, give your weapon +2 attack. So first off, about Harmonic Hip Hop and Mic Drop, they both seem like solid cards, which are just good, but nothing necessarily that shines about it. So I wouldn't feel too confident about this card going into, you know, decks. As far as MC Blingtron goes, obviously you're going to want to put MC Blingtron in an aggressive tempo deck, because the goal would be to make your opponent take as much +1 damage as possible. So I reckoned that you're playing this in an aggressive deck, you'd probably play it with like 2 minions on the board. So play MC Blingtron, swing with your golden mic, deal 2 damage, swing with your 2 minions, you deal an extra 2 damage, so that's an extra 4 damage added by the Blingtron. On the following turn, you deal another 2 extra damage with minions, you deal maybe 2 extra damage with spells, you hit them with the golden mic again. All in all, that added up to MC Blingtron dealing 10 damage. And that's pretty conservative, I think. You could easily cast a lot more than 2 damage spells. So yeah, MC Blingtron, I think reasonable to try it out in some sort of aggressive deck. You can certainly bounce MC Blingtron. That's part of the flavor of Rogue. So you can keep that. Your opponent's increases all damage they take by 1 for quite some time. But I don't think that this is necessarily the best use for bounce. Druid gets a package that Warrior fans are envious over. It's Hero Power Druid. The legendary usually is the big payoff card, but in this case I'm not entirely sure. Zoc Fog Snout is a 7 mana 6/6 Quillbore. which Battlecry summons 2 1/1 Quillbore with Taunt, improved by your hero attack and armor gained this turn. So if you just used your hero power, your base hero power with Zoc, then you would have a very mediocre result as you would gain 1 attack and 1 armor. So you would 7 mana 6/6 summon 2/2/2 Quillbores with Taunt. That's pretty bad. But you're meant to put this in a deck with double Free Spirit. Free Spirit's a 1 mana 1/2, Battlecry and Death Rattle. Your hero power gains 1 more armor this game, which means a single Free Spirit is actually improving the amount of armor you gain through your hero power by 2. The Groovy Cat, 2 mana 2/1 Battlecry and Death Rattle. Your hero power gives your hero 1 more attack this game. So that's a 2 attack per Groovy Cat. Wow, plus 2 attack each time you use your hero power. With 2 copies of Groovy Cat and 2 copies of Free Spirit, your hero power is going to deal 5 damage and gain 5 armor per click. That's pretty sweet. I genuinely think that's pretty sweet. And if you are gaining 5 attack and gaining 5 armor when you press your power, your Zoc Fog Snout is a 7 mana 6/6, which summons 2 6/6 Quillbore with Taunt. Now the interesting thing is I actually think that those cards that boost your hero power, they're pretty solid by themselves. You might not actually run them with Zoc Fog Snout. Maybe the payoff isn't very good, because the payoff just by playing those basic cards is its own reward. Perhaps you don't need another payoff card, which is like a card that actually keys off of those, because it's a little bit slow. But yeah, this is a way to inevitably have a victory. The Free Spirit is undead as well, so you could have a little bit of a sub-theme of undead. You could resurrect all those cards that cost 2 or fewer. They die again, making your hero power even better. I got this nice little spread the word card, 4 mana, draw 2 cards, cost 1 less for each attack your hero has. So once you get your attack high enough, for 0 mana, you draw 2 cards. That could be pretty sweet. Spread the word. What's the word? It seems to be being delivered by a bird. Very amusing. Will we see some sort of control druid deck that eventually grinds out the opponent through use of hero powers? I think that could make for an interesting deck. I certainly do like pressing the hero power and gaining like 5 attack and 5 armor and possibly more each turn.